The client came in with these beautiful curls that had been previously colored, and she wanted to get a more beige tone balayage without compromising her curl pattern. I knew from the start, since her hair was so delicate, that I would need to be super careful and use my gentlest products throughout the whole process. I started by doing a weaved balayage throughout the whole head, starting with only 13 volume developer, and applied her natural color onto any of the hairs that we left out to cover the previous brassiness. After seeing her lift, I knew we would be able to achieve the blonde she wanted using only Amika products to tone out the rest of the brassiness. These products are super hydrating and bring so much life back into the hair without using any harsh chemicals. They're amazing when you're trying to preserve the condition of the hair as much as possible. I used the shampoo first and let that sit for about 2 minutes after emulsifying. Then ran the conditioner through and used that to help me detangle. And finally used the Bust Your Brass Deep treatment and let that sit for about 10 minutes. I also love this shampoo because a lot of purple shampoos tend to be drying, but it's the complete opposite with Amika's Brass Kicking Shampoo. These products also smell amazing and left my clients' curls rejuvenated and bouncy with no curl product in them yet. We were so in love with the results. Not only did the blonde look amazing, but it also made her hair look so much fuller with so much more dimension throughout. This transformation was so much fun and my client was so happy with her new hair. This is my amazing client Amanda of almost 3 years, and she always lets me surprise her and do whatever I want. Client came in with 100% virgin, super long hair, wanting to do such a fun transformation that I cannot wait to show you guys. She wanted to keep her natural brunette and add deep rainbow baby lights throughout all of her hair, giving it kind of a holographic look to it. I started the baby lights halfway up the head and the back and took 1/2-inch sections for every piece. I took a super thin slice at the top of each of those 1/2-inch sections, and that was going to be my rainbow baby light. She only had to process for about 25 minutes after I was done applying, and as you can see, the lift was so perfect. We trimmed her hair and then air dried it before applying these rainbow baby lights all throughout the head. They were so super satisfying to see wet, and we could not wait to dry it. I shampooed, conditioned, and treated her hair with Beach Waver's Stay Strong products, and I also curled her hair using Beach Waver's 1-inch barrel curling iron as well. We were so obsessed with the outcome of this color, and we literally just could not get over it. Not only was her hair still so incredibly healthy and shiny, but this was such a fun transformation to do from beginning to end. This is my client Sophie, who came in wanting to take this faded blue color that she had done herself and turn it into a beautiful sunset ombre. The first thing I did was put lightener on her roots and waited for that to lift to about a level 8. Once that was almost ready, I then applied Pulp Riot Blank Canvas Color Remover on her ends. I like to use color remover on previously lightened hair because it's a lot more gentle than bleach. I mixed up the colors that we were going to be using and was so excited to use my new brush set from Famar. I like to use a brush that has a tail comb in the back when I'm applying the roots because it helps me to keep the sections really neat. I then took 1/2-inch sections throughout the back, applying the purple first and then blending it down into pink, orange, and yellow. I rinsed her hair with super cold water to avoid any bleeding, and we were so obsessed with the outcome of this color. It was seriously everything that we wanted. I also wanted to show you guys what it looked like straight because it was just so beautiful no matter what. Whenever I'm mixing my vivid colors, I always add a little conditioner into the mix so that it could act as a treatment while it processes. I was so excited to create this look for my client because it's seriously one of my favorite color schemes. This is my client who I've been doing for a few years now, and she always just lets me do whatever kind of bright, vibrant color scheme that I want. She has a friend who's also a stylist who does her hair in between, so I basically just follow her sectioning, and we do a double process in the bottom section, and we do balayage to lay over it. I first applied the lightener in the bottom section about a half an inch away from the scalp so that could process first. While that was processing, I also applied the balayage on the top. After applying the balayage, I then ran the lightener onto the root of the bottom section as well, and applied color remover on the ends while that was sitting. I mixed up all the different colors of the rainbow that we were going to be using, and applied the top section first so I can put it in a nice neat little space bun and get it out of the way. As I was applying it, we were already so in love with this top color. I added 2 little accent rainbows for her face frame so that when the hair would fall forward, you would see a full rainbow going down. I then used the same colors to create a rainbow effect in the back that would peek through underneath the pink balayage that was on the top. We also cut a few inches before applying the color so her hair looked so healthy, so shiny, and the color was so vibrant and gorgeous. On top of completely transforming the color, we also added an undercut and made that rainbow as well, just for fun. I love when my clients get creative, and I absolutely am in love with this color scheme. This transformation was so fun from beginning to end, and my client came in knowing exactly what she wanted to do. She sat in my chair and immediately told me that she wanted a pink mullet, and I was so excited to get this project started. The first thing I did was remove the hair from the side so that we wouldn't waste any product on the areas that were going to be shaved anyway. I then applied foils all over the head, starting from about a half an inch away from the root using 20 volume. I always like to use foils for my double process because it creates heat and helps the hair lift more evenly. After removing those foils, I then applied 20 volume lightener onto her roots for only about 20 minutes, and it was an absolutely perfect lift. Once that was ready to be rinsed, we removed everything at the sink, shampooed, and then we started cutting. After the initial cut, we mixed up neon pink and applied it all over the hair. Once we air dried the hair, I then added a little bit more texture into the cut, and we were absolutely obsessed with the outcome. The pink was so vibrant and so even, and it really was everything that we wanted to see in the color. I also absolutely love a shapely haircut like a mullet or a shag because it's so versatile and you're really able to do so many different styles when you have a haircut like this. This is my client whose hair I've been doing for about a year now. Usually we do fun colors, but she recently got married, so we had to do a natural color for her wedding. Now that the wedding is over, she came into my chair and told me that I could do whatever I wanted. I started by bringing back up the balayage closer to her root and leaving the hairs out in between, where I was going to be applying lightener onto the ends to remove that natural pigment after. Since I've been doing her hair consecutively, I knew that since we only used a semi-permanent color, which was Color Touch, instead of using a permanent color to create the natural effect we just had, it would be easier to remove than if we were to have used a permanent color. She was just about to be ready, so I mixed up the colors so we could get super excited, ran the lightener over the remaining ends, and then applied her color. I wanted to show you guys how incredible it looked straight and how shiny and healthy her hair looked before the styling. Then as you see here, as I open up the curls, you could really see all that dimension. We were so obsessed with the dimension and the contrast between all of these colors. Her hair looked so healthy, so full, and these colors were all so bright and vivid on their own. I also love to incorporate my clients' natural root when they're doing a vivid color because they don't need to be coming into the salon all the time to upkeep it, and the grow out will be easy and beautiful. Even though I forgot to take a before video, you can kind of get the picture of what my client came in with. She had about 2 inches of regrowth of her natural level 7 root, and she had this faded purple that she had done herself on the ends. First thing I did was keep the lightener about 1/8 of an inch away from the scalp, and I lightened that bottom half. Then, once that was ready, I ran the lightener onto the roots and applied color remover on the ends. The color remover is so satisfying because you could see it removing that color right away. I then mixed up the beautiful colors that we were going to be using for her purple ombre, and we were so in love with the color scheme when it was finally done. I used a little bit of magenta and a little bit of periwinkle blue mixed with a lot of diluter to create the color we were going to be using on the ends. I then used Pravana Violet for her roots diluted with a little bit of conditioner just so that it wouldn't be too dark in comparison to the ends. Whenever I'm doing vivid colors, I like to make sure that the hair is almost 100% dry before applying the colors so that the saturation can be the most even. The thinner the section, the more guaranteed you are to have perfect, even application from roots to ends. It had been since before the pandemic that we were able to touch up her hair, so it was so exciting to see her do her hair and make it gorgeous and even and to reach her goals again. It makes me so happy to make my clients happy and to see them glowing as they walk out the door.